This is uh, this is to serve as a proof about my car purchase. You can see the date and time. I am doing this stuff, but other than that, the two recordings you're about to hear, it's not going really. It's just my Android. I told you this is a little bit not easy to control. It says here January 3rd of 2019 for both of these recordings. That's exactly what's not true. That's not true. Um, the date goes to December the 17th because I have, you know, recorded other stuff. I have other proofs I have used, gadgets I have used to collect proofs. December the 20, 2021. And of course, I'm referring to my car, Citroën. What is this here? This is a seller purchase car title. December the 20th was when I purchased this car. There you go. I'm gonna put some links. This is the car. The car has had a and still has it. Thanks God I did not repair car as I was instructed to do, even by Joe Biden. He insisted for me to go and buy the car, uh, repair the car immediately upon the purchase. And boy, I did spend a load of money on this car repair. It really doesn't matter right now. I will still be talking about this stuff, but it was gadgets that I ordered for hail damage repair from China. Um, Putty I bought here in Slovenia, all kinds of stuff, so that I would commence the car repair. And just luckily, I have not. The car sat right in front of the house. It was not used. It was used on one occasion, barely was used, twice to the city, and it was used on one occasion when I did took my father to Brežice. That's basically this place here. This is as far as the two of us got. Um, but otherwise, the car was purchased in this place here. It's called Kisovets. And for you to get there, you would need, with a car, about 1 hour and 10 minutes. It's 71 kilometers it would take for you to get there. Or you can also go through by using a public transport. This is really not so apart, but the thing is, there are hills, there are mountains in between. 55 kilometers if you would go walking, if you would go hiking. And that's exactly what I did. I did go hiking a good portion of the road, and I'm really, really glad I did, because I managed to identify trails, people involved in MK Ultra. They would also come and pick me up, because portion of this road, however, I ended up right here in this place here in Litia, like this. I did go hitchhiking. So, luckily for me, I got somewhat assisted, and managed to get to the car. I'm going to present you so you can hear authentic conversation between me and seller. My hitchhiking to get this car, and believe me, uh, it was tough. Tough because I didn't get much sleep. I was looking for this car desperately, but it was situations like this one here, let's say, that it took me to Maribor, where I went actually hitchhiking. That was rather, I'm gonna say, completely unbearable. That was like stuff that was like beyond insane. Eventually, I was compelled to even spend night inside of the car, for which I learned uh, the car had a transmission problem, engine problem. Nothing whatsoever, just as in this case, nothing whatsoever, just as was the case in this place here, Ptui. I did. I slept overnight inside of the car, just as I was told under MK Ultra it's gonna be. It was cold like hell. Really uncomfortable. And this is the way they were doing. They were sleep depriving, exhausting, basically doing the kill, setting up with the cars that were completely fucked up. Lied on the phone and how nothing wrong with the car. Let me go straight to the issue. Once I started to use this car, once I came back from Brežice with the father, I noticed there was oil all over the place. There was a little leaks already before that appeared under the car. But this time, the leak was just bigger. And so I opened the hood and there was oil all over the place. It was year 2012 when the car owner, an ex-police officer, this is a retired police officer lady who sold me the car, involved in MK Ultra since 1995. She, her family, it was 2012 when she began to cry me about a gasket, engine gasket, that he blew on the car. Car was well maintained. Everything was okay. The only thing that she have not done and should have was to basically replace a cooling liquid in a radiator. And as a result, car got, I don't know, overheated or whatever, and it blew the gasket. Never ever mentioned to me whatsoever. I have no idea what exactly she did to get the car going. But this is what I think is where my problem is. This is what I'm going to have to face with. And moreover, what's more important, during the car purchase, during the initial conversation on the phone, when I asked her about the engine, how she never mentioned to me anything about anything. She just stated she's a first owner. The car always was maintained. No engine problems, nothing, anything like this, original mileage and so on. So, and as it was intended, this car sale was intended to serve as a climax of this bullshit and steer me obviously into mental crisis. There were other versions that lady mentioned, but yeah, if you would manage to recall, you would if you had enough money to bring her to the court, if you wouldn't go completely insane with all other stuff that was used by the psychiatrist, by the police against me, just like every criminal, yeah, then it will give you probably a complete confession, complete background admission about what went on. This is just a regular procedure. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start with this 2 audio recordings first. I'm gonna break down also some other audio recordings in respect to this car, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna proceed with crime, with a planted crime against me toward city of Maribor and also city of Ptuj, because as I stated, they did the setups over there, and maybe the worst setups they did, even worse than this, they were located on completely other side of Slovenia. That was near Italian border. That's where they had also cars that God knows how the hell that would go through if I would go there. I'm actually certain that it would be definitely better than this, because this it couldn't be worse than what it was. But there were 2 cars that were really bad. Then there was another car that they tried to plant me with. This one was in the city of the Kočevje. I did go, and that's the kind of stuff I'm gonna present you with. Every one of these cars I'm talking about was the car that would do nothing other than screw your money. Yet those are the cars that they presented like, yeah, that's the car for you, this is what it is, you gotta buy this because you did to me this and that and so on. So they used a large weapon of blame. This lady took me, as I stated, with this very car, literally, and to Belgrade, to Chetniks in Belgrade, and took me, is this here, Banja Luka, took me to Bosnia, to the Serbian part of Bosnia, to Milorad Dodik, Aleksandar Vučić, was used to transport me, in other words, into areas that I shouldn't be anywhere, and campaigned for, even for females that would somewhat facially resemble women from Serbia, because it was Serbs that demanded from me to marry female with the Serbian features. And so it started to look for the females in Slovenia that would satisfy that kind of criteria. That much about this police officer lady. So now let's go, and I'm gonna play you what other.
Nije tam bil vaš dedek neki tasga, on je neki govorila od očeta, tam ti pa malo reja. Da ti jo povem, ker je, dober dan.
Dobar dan.
Dober dan.
We're gonna do it like this.
Prosim.
Ja, dober dan želim, dobro jutro, dober dan.
Dobar dan.
Dober dan, gospa Jožica, ker sem vas malo zgodaj poklical.
During this procedure, car purchasing procedure, there were many people I have managed to identify. Even I did not post them on the internet, but there were many people I have identified. This not such an easy thing to do till you actually meet the person. However, it rang to me so familiar. And it was, unfortunately, in my personality, I'm designed to pull positive vibes first. And I think everybody is. When you find yourself in a shit world like this, you look for positivity, you look for positive things in people because you try to hold on to every branch, maybe far too much, far more than what you should, and you try to realistically evaluate things, and still you get yourself, before you know, in trouble. It didn't come to me. It didn't come to me. They rehearsed a bunch of scenarios. A neighbor, Andrew Ull, exercised with a psychiatrist, with the police, a bunch of scenarios on how they're going to replace me the engine, how they're going to fuck me up the engine as soon as I'm going to leave the car. That's why the car was parked outside in front of the house. As soon as, for some time, until I actually realized, man, I said, no, this is a blown gasket actually that we are dealing with. It didn't make sense anymore for me to repair the car or anything like this. But they exercised a multitude of scenarios on how they're going to destroy me the car as soon as I bring one. They exercised a scenario at the mall where I took my father in Brežice City, in this mall here, at the mall in Brežice City, where I took my father to buy for himself a fishing equipment. Inside of this mall, it's a mall that where they have dedicated a memorial plate inside of the Brežice City to a Serbian mayor of the city of Ljubljana. That's a right hand of Milan Kucan, actually. Zoran Jankovic. They rehearsed inside of the Brežice, inside of this where I took my father to buy this fishing equipment. With this very car, they exercised brainwash on how I'm gonna park the car right there at that mall, go with the father inside, and by the time I come back with the father, it will be damage done on the car, and I might not even make it back to Novo Mesto with the car. And then if I make it back to Novo Mesto with the car, yeah, the father whom I took to Brežice for this stuff, this was all well coordinated, this stuff. This was all part of MK Ultra. My father has a lot of answers and a lot of questions to answer to police. It's a possibility I have excluded, I never mentioned, but even as far as this, Slovenian psychiatry, Slovenian police have gone. Even as far as this. Once I realized that it was a gasket already blown on this car, that she blew the gasket on this car and did not inform me about the damage prior to the car sale. Janez Ogulin, director of the Novo Mesto Police, sent some Roma people with offers for me to have the car purchased from me. One of them specified me an offer in which he stated, just say how much you want for the car, basically. Just say how much you want for the car. And it was like this, that this Roma guys inspected this car and even had one inside of their shop. It was not one Roma guy, it was the community, entire Roma community, they knew about this car. They knew about this car. They had the car inside of the shop, inside of their shop, in their community, with me. Obviously, they brought one in there. This car was all over the place. This is a MK car, just as the Škoda Felicia was in Poland. So let's go, and I'm gonna play to you this audio recording.
Ne.
Se lahko pokličem nazaj, če
I called her and I asked her if I did call a little early.
hočete, ampak
Ne.
ne.
She said it's okay, we can talk.
Boštjan sicer tukaj iz Novega mesta kličem.
I called from Novo Mesto City.
Ja, dober dan. Veste kaj, mene zanima pa ta vaš lep avto tlele, ki ga imate na avtonetu.
I'd noticed a car you have for
Ja,
sale on the
in
Autonet.
sicer vse lepo piše, tam vidim, da ste malo na desni strani, da je malo poškodbe na robniku, ampak
To je bil, ja, dotik robnika, ja.
dotik robnika je bil. Drugač pa ni z avtom nič narobe, ne, da je menjal.
Ne, vozenje, avto je registriran do 2. aprila drugo leto.
There is a little damage I have noticed you have on the side of the car, I tell her. This here. That's all I told her I have noticed on this car. The car is registered. She tells me there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with the car. I told her, but I haven't noticed anything else that would bother me really on the car. And she tells me there is nothing wrong with the car. The car is registered also. Registration is valid until the next year of April.
Vse ima, no, vse kar normalno se vozi.
Is drivable. Normally driving everything is okay.
Pa tam v Divači, tam je pa vaš dedek,
Ne,
ne?
veste kaj, sin je v Divači, pa on dal, ker jaz se na to ne spoznam, mi je dal na Autonet, drugače pa v Kisovcu.
They too involved, this family also involved multiple scenarios, and all through I should have known that her son moved to location where the car was advertised that was at the time. This was they really did this very confusing. Claimed that the car was here, in this place here, Divača. But in reality, the car was in a completely other part. It was, in reality, the car was here in, it's called Kisovets. So this is just okay. So her son gave the car ad for this place here in Divača, and the car in reality was at Kisovets, at this location here. And I'm calling from Novo Mesto City from here. So very confusing, and all of a sudden with a lot of information and a lot of misinformation.
Zagorje občina, tukaj živi, tukaj.
Aha, ja, aha, okej, vidim. Pa tam iz Divači, tam je pa vaš dedek, ne, ali nekaj takega.
I told her, but wait a minute, but from Divača, that's where your grandfather is, no? Something like this?
Ne, sin.
She says, no, my son.
Vaš sin je tam?
I told her, your
Moj sin,
son?
ja.
Pa ka ni bil on, ka ni
No. Her son moved there. I think it was year 2013 when he moved there.
tam bil vaš dedek nekaj takega?
Ne,
Ni on en sorodnik vaš iz Divača ali oče ali kaj?
ne.
Ne, ni bilo. Vaš sin je samo tam. Aha.
Moj sin je živi tam in jaz se na to ne spoznam na te oglase, tako da je on to naredil
Aha, 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 aha,
Ja.
aha, aha.
Tako da avto je čisto ok, avto je čisto v redu, vse je ok, tako kot je na sliki.
Aha.
Edino nisem vedela pa.
Car is all perfect, everything is perfect just the way it is in the pictures. Everything is working, nothing is wrong with the car.
Premalo slik naredila, še notranjosti vse, sedeži so ohranjeni, tako da to lahko tudi naknadno pošljem, če to želi.
Aha.
The interior, everything is just the way it's supposed to be. It's like in a perfect condition. Now that's interesting. She knows me. So far I have not identified her properly, but she did. The interior is perfect for anyone that would even want to use a car as a sleeper. So she identified me before I identified her. That's exactly what I did with the Skoda Felicia. I would drive, stop, put down the rear seat and sleep over and go on. So she knew exactly who I was.
Pa je, kaj sem hotel reči, kakšna je pa zadnja cena tega?
People don't really do this in Slovenia. I don't know any people that would actually go around and sleep inside of the car. I don't know anybody that would do this stuff.
Avtomobila.
Ja.
And what's the last price for this car? I asked her.
Pa bomo se zmenila.
We'll negotiate.
Ja.
Um,
Bomo znižali tudi, če se
We're gonna lower the price. We're gonna lower the price
interesirajo, če ste res
if you're a serious buyer.
skupaj.
ja, jaz sem resen kupec, jaz če pridem, jaz ga odpeljem, ne?
I told her I'm a serious buyer. Now if I come, I'll definitely took one with me. Of course, what precisely are you going to do? If you're gonna go on a road like this, from Novo Mesto, that you're gonna go basically doing this kind of stuff, then you better do it this way. You wouldn't want to play with this kind of stuff.
Čisto povedano, samo kaj smo naredili tukaj. Vi ste prva lastnica vi ste prva lastnica, ne?
Prvi lastnik sem, ja.
I'm a first owner. Yes, I'm a first owner. You're the first owner. Yes, I'm the first owner.
Zakaj pa ima tablico iz Maribora pol?
And the registration number, now that's interesting, is from yet another location. The registration number, the plate, however, is from the city of the Maribor. So you got 3 different cities. I'm all confused now. One is Maribor, another one is the Skisovets here, and then you have another one here from Divača. Information where the car supposedly was located at. So this is just getting better and better.
Zakaj pa ima tablico iz Maribora?
Veste kaj, jaz sem v Mariboru živela, zdaj sem se pa poročila tu v Kisoveci.
A ste se poročila pol? Aha.
Ja, tako da.
A ti pa lepo.
I used to live in Maribor, but I got married in Kisovec not too long ago. And so I was like, congratulations in that sense. Oh, so you did get married, okay.
Tega nisem predstavljala teh.
To je pa lepo.
I thought that's very nice.
Ja, kaj pa vem.
Da boste prišli pogledat.
Ja,
Will you come to see the car?
jaz če pridem pogledat, ga pridem kupiti. Jaz sem iz Novega mesta, jaz bom,
Pravilno.
ne bo, drugače to ne bo šlo, samo.
Ja,
She's asking me, are you gonna come to buy? You're gonna come to buy this car? Let me say something. This lady played a blame weapon against me. Involved her child, whom I disliked, apparently, according to a physical characteristics, because it was repeated so many times that in extremely unpleasant ways, that I just was completely fed up, and with her and with him and with absolutely everything. But no, actually, I liked her very much based on her facial characteristics and everything, especially because she's a good looking woman. But the thing about it, it was done in a variety of ways that people would do this stuff like this till they would have somewhat something they could use to justify their abuse against me, based on which they were compensated with the free tickets, in this case uh, to the pools, to otherwise quite expensive, how you would say, vacationing. I'm not sure if I use the proper term, terme, but that kind of stuff, you know, this kind of stuff. And she did a lot of that kind of stuff. She did all kinds of stuff, including with Italy, that she profited from within. She got this card discounted through this case. She got one of those ladies that I can say, it was others that had more interest than she did. But yeah, she built a decent amount of her wealth based on this case. One of those ladies, one of those sellers, I should say.
Saj je res, to je dobro.
Vse dokumente tudi odkam kupala, lahko pokažem tale račune.
Aha, pa servisno knjigico imate pa vse to,
Vse
ne?
imam noter, ja.
She's got absolutely everything, all the documents, everything, the service book, maintenance book, absolutely everything.
Ja.
Pa je, kdaj je bil pa ta veliki servis narejen?
I asked about a big service when that was, how do you say, German? Timing belt and that kind of stuff, and when that kind of stuff was done, because the car was regularly serviced. About the regular service, even the Serbs, even the Vucic, Milorad Dodik, who inspected the car was in Serbia, the mechanics inspected absolutely everything, had a complete service maintenance with them in Serbia. And guess what? It was done inside of this house. That the procedure I followed, that I scanned all the documents and everything from the car, was already done prior to me inside of this house. I was literally tutored on what to do once I get the car, because what we're gonna do is, you're gonna have all these documents, but it was Andreul, the neighbor, who was used, a mechanic that was used for this psychiatric brainwash on how even the documents, even the maintenance records are going to be stolen and that kind of stuff. That's what we are talking about. So they accented, and that's when it comes to US first, on extremely well maintained car, on extremely, the police, Slovenian police accented, was making a sale of the car to me as per car, extremely well kept, maintained vehicle, extremely well maintained car that's being sold to me, the car that was regularly maintained with the records, with everything.
Veliki servis je bil nared 2017.
2017.
In 2017 is when the big service was made.
2017 je imel 160 tisoč, ne vem, da točno se imam tam nekaj napisano.
Aha.
Ja, ko je bilo to že nazadnje delano.
Ja.
Pa tako treba narediti, ne, pa vsako leto olje, pa filtri, pa te zadeve, to to sem vsako leto menjala.
The oil, the filter,
Če sem naredila toliko kilometrov ali pa ne, sem to naredila.
whether I made as many kilometers or not, I was maintaining the car
Ja, ja, ja.
Tako,
every year, every
žensko
year.
upravlja avto in pač
Ja.
moraš bolj, na takrat se ti bolj gleda, da
Ja.
ni kaj narobe. Ne.
Kaj pa če vam jaz dam ponudbo 450 evrov?
I said, what about if I give you an offer 450 euros?
Veste kaj, to mi je pa skoraj malo, zato ker so čisto nove gume gor.
I got a brand new tires and that is a little bit too low for me.
Čisto?
Zimske gume imam čisto nove.
Aha, okej.
Tako. In mi je to že bil strošek, ko sem vzela čez 200 evrov.
I pay for the tires alone over 200 euros. No, the car does have and a towing hook, and the tires are really good. It's not that she did not invest in the car. She did.
Ja, ja, ja.
Nisem pa računala, mislim, zdaj sem pa nekaj zbolela in se zdaj
I did not count on, and I didn't count on selling one, but then I got something ill lately.
bolj z možem avtom vozim in enostavno
My husband has got his car.
mi je škoda, da mi stoji. Ne.
It's so damn bad the car is standing in front of the house. Yeah, the car was standing in front of the house because the car had blown gasket. When I inquired about the big service that was done in 2017, oh man, that's an issue that I would tell you that would have saved me a load of money because she'd made almost no kilometers since. The car pretty much was parked in front of the house. So what they did was they created a temporary solution to the car, which one of the Roma people involved in MK Ultra, whom I have met, told me he's gonna remind me also. Okay, one Roma guy, he claimed, this is a good car. This is a good car. Don't worry. Because it was people who inspected the car in Nova Mesa. They said, the car is no good, including another Roma guy. He said, this car is no good. No, don't take this. I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna give you an offer and make sure that you accept this offer, and you get your money back and just go. And there was another Roma guy involved in MK who told me, what, not that any of these guys will do anything bad. I mean, listen, when the police chief is behind this and pressures down on them to do the stuff like this for him, and no, I wouldn't even lose money if I would go and do just as these Roma guys told me. I would get the money back, but I would lose the proof. That's one of the things. Another thing is, if I would do exactly what the other Roma told me, that's basically to seal the gasket with what he told me. He teach me with with a silicone. You put the silicone and boom on the top, and that's it, and you can drive the car like this. Those are actually valid solutions. Yes, this car would probably work for quite some time more, probably enough for my needs that I could use, and that's probably something like this. What I think was, before they sold me the car, they lifted the cover up and they put the old gasket inside, the one that was blown, and they have done it in such a way that it would not be seen till I would actually use the car, till I would go to Brežice and back, and then all that stuff, the way they calculated, it would appear. There is another possibility, which also includes neighbor Andrei Ul, that possibly might have even done this when I brought the car home, just like he have done with the car tires. He might have gone and changed the seal, because he was the one who played with this car. They had other cars. They literally teach me on how to repair one. too much information, folks. I'm just gonna keep quiet and just go about this
Ja.
stuff.
Kaj pa recimo 500 evrov?
Now, if I would go obviously and repair this car, once you would repair this car, right? They teach me as soon as you repair the car, start repairing the car like Americans tutor me how you're gonna fix the dents and stuff like this, and it's gonna be like new, and you're gonna spray one. They brainwash me. You're just gonna go and you're gonna spray one with a orange color. Any of this stuff, or I would go and fix the gasket, whether I would go and fix the gasket, or I would go and uh, do any kind of work on this car, that basically voids the guarantee of the court. And then you have signed away everything. And so once I parked the car, boy, and I wouldn't touch one anymore, it's like the planes, I think it was, I don't know where, in Russia, when one of the planes was caught on fire, they grounded other planes. They do this. This is a procedure everywhere around the world. That's when you ground things like this. You don't touch. You stay away, and you concentrate on memories which involve this particular vehicle, because you want to come to the bottom of this and know exactly what the hell you're dealing with here. Are you dealing here with a lemon car? Is it that they did this? And what you want to do is you want to pull absolutely all the information about it. I did not even want to know about it before. But when it comes to the stuff like this, I grounded this car. I wouldn't touch one anymore. I went for a walk and I started to go back in time, recall the memories. And it came to me that in 2012, it was her son in 2012. This is a nice kid. Her son is a nice, grew up into a nice man. All that bullshit, all that kiddie bullshit that he was involved in, those pools, as the time passed by, he grew up. This became a very nice man, very supportive. That was another problem. Because the only thing I saw her. I know that she liked me. I wanted to marry this woman, actually. This was a war I have created over there in 97, 98. I wanted to marry this woman, and this woman wanted to marry me. But there was a husband on the picture, and it was actually before the two even got together, something like this. Just the two got together or whatever. I already have spoken about that stuff. There was an uproar I caused in the city Ptuj, not too far from Maribor, where I have also a portion of the family, cousins and stuff like this. Not a good stuff at all. So in my mind it was perfect. It was the perfect lady I bought this from. It was a perfect car I bought it from. Everything in my mind was decent about her sale, her family. But once this stuff happened to me, I shouldn't say about the car only, I grounded my memories about everything beautiful. And I started to dig into it and bring up the memories I didn't want initially to know, to recall and stuff like this. I didn't want to know about that stuff. And then I recalled in 2012, it was the son that was completely nervous because this supposedly would be the car. Unless also they did something to the car, unless somebody did it to her, something over there too. That's a questionable. The only thing she had not, she had a trouble because of liking me too. She had a troubles. She had a good amount of problems, and she also, that's true, because of Borut Pahor, because of Milan Kuchan. Remember, she was a police officer. She did not have a choice other but to not like me too much. As a police officer and this and that, they can make you disappear real fast too. I'm not denying any of this stuff, but she's gonna have to clarify these things. Um, her son came to me to Novo Mesto with mom and this and that, and I was always happy to see them. And it was like he was giving me a report. He was talking to others, and then also to me that it was this and this. It was the only thing that she did not do the service and ta 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 ta. Bullshit. They did something to her. In my opinion, the car like this just doesn't go bad because just like this, uh, I don't think she did much wrong. That, but then yeah, of course, if you don't maintain a service on your vehicle, you place car at risk, and stuff like this can happen. There's certain stuff you should perform as soon as you buy the car, basically. With your first paycheck, you should. And that just was one of the things, I suppose, that she did not consider. And engine gasket uh, was blown.
Pa to bi šlo.
500 evrov, ok.
500 euros, we agree. Okay.
Pa imamo
Ja.
zrihtano 500 evrov in jaz ga
450
potem
not,
pridem ta vaš avto iskat.
450 not, 500 yes.
Tako.
So I come and I pick up the car.
Zmenjeni pol. A ka mi lahko vi prosim naslov date pol?
Can you please give me
Ja,
an address? This part here, when it comes to address, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop here because this is the stuff and basically what I will do is I will delete this part. I will erase this part and then I'm gonna continue with the recording. Okay, so I did remove the exact address, but the address is really, really interesting, and that's why, because of this stuff here, this police officer lady is gonna have to explain exactly the issue of Milan Kuchan related to the Pahorsky battalion. Those were the partisans, just as both sides of my family, they fought against Nazi occupation of Slovenia during the World War II, and apparently, and I of course I did. I turned against them when I was drugged up. This is very, very important for me. The very, very important issue, because of Milan Kuchan, because it goes straight to witnessing about the stuff that Milan Kuchan was doing during MK Ultra. She knew the man who married. They both participated. Not what you're about to hear me. They both participated in this case. They both met Bojan Črtalić from Novo Mesto at this location, Kisovec, and in particular it's called Square of Pahorsky Battalion, which everybody involved, including Americans and Germans, all knew about this stuff. They all knew about it. The two were involved in this together. Together they were involved since year 2002. I'm going to repeat, since 2002. And so for me, extremely particular, because she condemned me that I was against the partisans and stuff like this. I shouldn't be, let me remind you, I shouldn't be anywhere in the Europe between 1995 and August of 2006. In fact, I should not have exited the United States of America at any time. Yet I was brought for beatings, for abuse, for torture to Slovenia repeatedly for 11 and a half consecutive years, during which I should have never exited the United States of America, other than on 3 occasions to my ex-wife from Ecuador in South America. Repeatedly brought to Slovenia, and this issue, this house that is located this residence that is located at square of Pahorsky Battalion was literally used to condemn me to be, for my being a fascist, a neo-Nazi supporter, and she blew on my soul heavily in respect to this Pahorsky Battalion. And it's very important issue for me to obtain such statement literally from the police officer, from ex-police officer. She told me, and once I'm going to tell you, mention to you, remind you of the Pahorsky Battalion, you're not going to even come close to buy this car. Now, when she says to me, Pahorsky Battalion, I don't actually even register anything about it because I really have no hard feelings for the partisans. But this information alone about the Pahorsky Battalion, this stuff like this here, Pahorsky Battalion, this information alone should have pushed me away from the car. This should have given me alarm, but this didn't give me any kind of alarm because this was under MK Ultra. They have designed this kind of personality, but this personality have nothing to do with reality, basically. So let's go. Let's finish
Ja,
this.
kdaj bi pa vi to prišli?
So when are you gonna pick
Zdaj
up
se
the
pa
car?
spomnim to, zdaj se pa
So
spomnim
when are you
to,
gonna
zdaj
come
se
to
vas
pick
pa
up the
spomnim.
car? Now I remember, I tell her, and what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna reduce this and just go quickly and have this, the rest of the audio translated to you.
Spomnimo bolj.
Now I remember,
Joj,
now I
vi ste,
remember better.
ja, vi ste se pa v blok preselila.
You used to,
Mhm.
you moved into apartment building. Now I remember you. Well, yeah, a long time ago, it was she and brother that lived inside of the house, and it was she who moved to the apartment building. That's when she started to be on her own. At least this is the way it was presented to me in Maribor. Then she met this guy and moved with him to Aptui city in vicinity of Maribor. But this memories of mine, this is not really the proper.
Ampak to je bilo pa že enega leta, te pa premejduše, poznata se vsaj od 2010.
I told this guy, your husband, that you met. You know each other since 2010. No, this two knew each other through MK Ultra. They got to know each other already since, I estimate, 2001, something like this, maybe even 2001 definitely. The two would meet at this residence in Kisovets. At the residence in Kisovets already in 2002. In 2004, they would meet up somewhere from 2003. I would be meeting these people on a regular basis, also in Kisovets, amongst other locations, through the local company owner here in Novo Mesto that would take me and who demanded for me to absolutely succumb on my knees in front of the great Serbia. This guy demanded complete submission to Serbia because his mother is from Serbia. That's a local business owner whose name is Bojan Chertalic, whose father, was owner of the company, Josef Chertalic, that demanded for me to marry his daughter and stuff like this. So this is the guy that would roam all over Slovenia like lost and would deliver me also to this location, where on which stops he tried to learn through my case. Basically what he did was he engaged in espionage, and he wanted to learn through personal relations, very close personal relations, about the people involved in this case on behalf of Serbia, on behalf of Belgrade, as much as possible from behind the curtain. Now, this guy was born in Slovenia. His mother is from Serbia. His wife also has a Serbian roots and so on. And so this is the man who campaigned for Serbia for the Russia. Was like an agent. And so he was the one who would deliver me also to this location. What went on inside of these locations, whatever he would bring me, because I have declined to marry his sister, he brought me to locations where there were other Serbian women and demanded from me to choose one of them. Beatings, a lot of beatings, abuse, torture. So it was not unusual for me when I have found myself like in 2005 with this couple from Kisovets, who became a husband and wife, to be severely tortured in 2005 by her and by him, taking extreme stand against me inside of this house, performing a torture on me.
Z vašim možem.
So I go as far as 2010, dummy, you know. It was 2001. To be precise, the two met between 2001 and 2000. This guy who became her husband and she, the two already knew each other since 2000.
Že kar nekaj časa se poznata.
She gets confused and she says,
Ojoj, zdaj se spomnim. Mislim, da se poznamo, no.
I said,
Mislim,
no, I
da se
said, I
poznamo.
remember, you know.
Tako, vidva, z vašim možem sta se pa srečala enkrat, mislim, da je bilo tam 2000, sta se spoznala tam enega leta 2008, kaj tasga.
The first time you met with your husband, I say, was in 2008. No. Not even in 2002. The first time the two met each other was in year 2000.
2006
Not
celo.
even 2001, but 2000. I go in a conversation, I go as far as 2006. No. Far too low. We are talking about exactly, not 99, but year 2000. Not 2001, but 2000.
Ja.
Even end of the 1999.
Vaš sin je pa moje starosti.
I said, your son is of my age. No, that's not true. Her son, I'm 50. Her son has got about at least 15 years younger than myself.
So vaš sin je pa tam enih...
I go 45.
Ja, tam je
no.
enih 45, je, jaz sem 50.
No, mistake.
Mlajši mora biti od mene,
I'm
mislim, da je.
50, he's 45. He's got to be younger.
Ja, no,
he's
sem tako
about
vprašam, no,
between
tako vprašam.
35 and 40, 37, 35 rather.
Da se nismo srečali.
We have never met each other before, of course we did.
Aha,
That's
pa
what she
se pa,
says,
pa
we
se
never
pa
met each
motim,
other.
pa se pa motim, ampak
Oh, so then I'm
občutek sem pa imel, da je bil vaš oče ali vaš star oče iz...
Now I don't want to push the issue because I do need the car, and I say, well, and then in that case I'm mistaken. I must be mistaken in that case. I need the car, listen, I don't want to go on with it. I was warned about not doing the stuff like this, not pushing. The people say we did not met when you're choosing the car. Just be quiet and go along, so you get the car at least.
Od ta bidevače, pa sem se pa zmotil, sem vas pa zamenjal za koga. Ja, pa sem se pa zmotil, se opročam. Ja. Dobro, tu sem se zmotil pa. Ja. No, prosim naslov pa, da pridem iskat vaš ta stroj.
Please the address so I can come.
Se pravi, mi reče mi samo kdaj bi videl.
Just tell me when you want to come.
Jutr.
I said tomorrow.
Jutr.
Sem doma.
Prosim?
Pravi tako, da sem doma, ne?
Ja.
She says, so just so that I know, so I am at home, so that I know when to expect you.
Ja, kdaj pa boste vi doma? Saj to je
Ja,
pomenilo.
jaz bom pol doma cel dan, če bo...
Aha.
Entire day long.
Ja,
I'm
ne,
gonna be
zaradi
at
mene
home,
ni
she
treba
says.
biti doma. Tu bomo že tako koordinirali nekako, da bomo...
Ja,
Yeah, I said I'm gonna make sure that you're at home. Don't worry about it. We gotta make arrangements so that I don't distract you also from your life.
Da bi, ampak, lejte, gospa, jaz vas ne bom, da boste vi name čakala doma, Madonca.
She says, well, if you say you're gonna come tomorrow, then we are all set. You come tomorrow, and I said, but we made an arrangement. I don't want to keep you at home. You can tell me the time of the day or another day or whatever, so that I don't distract you from your life.
To pa ne bi rad
Don't worry,
naredil,
she
vam
says,
res,
don't
ne bi
worry.
rad,
It's all being
take
done
stvari
for
ne rad
tomorrow.
počnem. Vi meni povejte, kaj bi bilo za vas, recimo, kako
Lahko
ćemo to...
prijete danes, lahko prijete jutri, samo
She
se
says you
pravim,
can come today, you can come tomorrow,
pa okvirno uro se zmeniva, zdaj
but just give me
pridete
a
in je to to,
time.
ne?
Ja, ker
Approximately,
ob
so I
10
know.
imam jaz en opravek, veste danes,
10 o'clock, I tell her
to
I
je
got
ena
something
stvar,
I gotta do.
sicer pa da pogledam tole, tale, da vidim eno stvar.
Today I cannot come. I have some other stuff I gotta do. I excuse myself.
Ok. Ja, je kar tako pot bo, kar 70 kilometrov vidim.
Very difficult
Ja,
accessible.
tukaj čez,
70 kilometers.
Ja. Jaz bom moral priti z avtobusom, veste, nekako
I'm
sem
gonna have to
moral
come
tako
with a
prebiti
bus, I
čez.
tell her.
pa z vlakom.
Ali pa z vlakom,
She
to je
says, or
tisto,
you can
veste.
come with a train.
Ampak ne vem, če gre kakšen vlak iz Novega mesta v
But there is
Kisovec,
a
to je
trouble, there's a
tisto.
difficulty
Zagorje
today.
je železniška postaja.
Pa še tole videl, kje pa tole.
There is a train station in Zagorje, she tells me.
Sitno.
The car was advertised also as the car without the hail damage. You couldn't notice any on the pictures. Let me demonstrate to you. On the pictures, there was no visible damage to the car other than what you see right here on the side. This stuff that you see here, the whole thing appeared as if the car only had this kind of damage. It's all basically there was. So the hail damage, the heavy hail damage that this car endured, and this hood issue, this was already present, I don't know, since. The heavy hail damage you see on the car was noticed upon my arrival. Once I got there, that's when I was stricken, when I saw that the car was completely bombarded by the hail. So the pictures were taken in such a way that you would not see, even here you cannot see much of the hail damage. But this is the stuff that it should be. I'm gonna get some pictures. I'm gonna post these pictures below so you can see just to what degree the damage was. So this also was nothing about the engine, nothing about the hail damage, just like this basically.
Ja, to moram pa jaz tam preko Krškega jeti, a ne?
Yeah. You were also able to hear that she claimed that the only damage to the car was on the side, just as I have translated to you. The only damage was this thing to the car. So you go on a trip, you get there to this remote location, walking, hitchhiking. Once you get there, it's a completely different reality you find yourself in. But now, whichever way you like, you came, now go. You can go with a bus, you can go with a train, you can go hitchhiking. That's basically if there is bus, if there is train. At the end of this audio, I'm also going to give you a date and time. I was tired as hell. Or you can drive yourself back home with a car that only has that many miles, and the hail damage itself is why the car is so cheap. Basically, you can repair it yourself. So they get you systematically in cahoots.
Ja, ne, tu je pa 4 ure in tako naprej in tako naprej.
Difficult back and forth
Deva
with
se midva
this.
lepo prosim to za jutri zmeniti, no. Pa bom jaz jutri
I
prišel,
told
pravite,
her,
da lahko pridem.
I told her, listen, let's do it for tomorrow. You're saying I can come at any time, so be at home tomorrow. I'm gonna come to pick up your car. I tell her basically.
Kadarkoli pa naredimo to stvar, pravite.
Ja, tukaj je, da lahko kot prepis narediva, ne, ker tu imaš do Zagorja, gremo do pisarne, kar prepis narediva, ne.
Tako.
Tako da nimam nobenih potem več
Opravkov. Tako.
Ja.
Dobro.
So we agreed on tomorrow.
Potem pa jutri se jaz ostavim tam pri vas in tu je tu pol.
Okay.
So we
Najlepša hvala vam, dober dan želim.
Thank you very much.
Ja, kakšen je pa naslov vaš?
And I asked you anyway, let's not forget about the address.
To je pravite Trg Pohorskega?
Ja.
Aha, Trg Pohorskega.
This in particular sensitive issue to me.
Ja.
Aha.
Kisovec.
Ok, imam.
Kisovec, kraj Kisovec.
Tako. Najlepša hvala vam.
Ja.
Hvala lepa, nasvidenje.
Ja, prav nasvidenje.
Gospa, boste vzela dol pol ta oglas?
I also asked her if she can please take this ad down so that now it's going to be somebody else who's going to come to pick up the car. She says, don't worry about it. The car is going to wait for you. So she did not took the ad down from this. She did not stop advertising the car. If you are serious, the car is going to wait to you till the morning.
Aha, ok, ampak za to ceno, tako kot so se domenili.
She said, for that cost, for everything we made an agreement. I said, okay then, that's okay. And I want to go and buy this car, basically.
Ne?
Ja.
Ok, hvala lepa, nasvidenje. Živjo. November the 16th, 2021.
This was recorded on November the 16th, 2021. Just as it states at the end of the tape, that's basically what I do each time. So don't worry, even if the audio recordings are modified by the phone, I always make sure, sometimes even I place the time at the top, at the end I place the date. And then you would go like this, and we can see immediately what day precisely that was. November what?
21. November the 16th, 2021.
November the 16th, 2021. Okay, it appears to me this was a mistake. This was, I think, December the 16th. That was a mistake. December the 16th, 2021 was Thursday. Okay, so this I don't know what exactly I have. That's a mistake. So this was on Thursday, on December the 16th of 2021. Now I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna demonstrate you this recording here. This is the next day, on December the 17th, Friday, therefore, of 2021. I know, so also it had to do with December of 2021 because I was sure that the next day actually is going to be a Saturday. So I was in a hurry to get there as fast as possible to get title transfer done. I was worried that they're going to close by noon, by 2 o'clock, something like this, and all my trip, all my efforts to get to that place are going to be in vain for nothing. This here is basically how I travel, walking, hitchhiking.
Dobar dan želim.
Dobro jutro, ja.
Dobro jutro. Boštjan tukaj pri telefonu.
Ja.
Veste kaj, jaz sem že tle pri Šentrupertu, ne?
Ja.
Sicer sem šel včeraj peš k vam na pot, malo sem se odpravil po športnu in me je GPS pripeljal tako čez gozdove. In pol mi je pa še napotil, ne vem, čez ene hribe, pa sem rekel, škaj tu pa ne bomo delali. Šli pa ta košček bomo pa še tlele čez avtoštop. Tako da mislim, da je bil kmalu tam pri vas nekje.
Šentrupertu, vse pravite?
V Šentrupertu, ja.
A je to tu pri tem delu, ne?
Ja, mislim.
So that's just to be used as a proof that eventually it was the next day on December the 17th of 2021 when I informed her the next day in the morning that I did go through the woods to get to her, and I should be there at just about any time that we should see each other. Šentrupert. Well, very closely I came. I had about 26 kilometers left, 28 kilometers left. Yeah, that's what I went. Basically, somewhere there I started to go and I started to hitchhike. And I think I did go right through here then instead. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm here to tell you that the car had a hail damage, does have a hail damage. The car also has an engine problem. And these are the two things nowhere you possibly can hear. The lady would mention me. She revealed me those. As a matter of fact, only a hail damage. Once I came and I saw it with my own eyes. The engine, however, she never ever revealed me anything about the engine. But I could say that she did not even reveal me anything about the hail damage. So it was not visible from the picture she posted on the internet, anything like this, other than the damage on the side with concerning sideways the doors, basically. Yeah, the car is badly hammered. It's got a bad hail damage, in fact, too. So this is to serve as a proof of police setup. A blame weapon was used, known as a Pahorski battalion too, and this is the stuff I want from Milan Kuchan. Borut Pahor, who was involved in this crime, was engaging himself against me through involvement in memorial, Pahorski battalion memorial. Pahor, Pohorski battalion, Pahor, Pohorski battalion, you discriminate, you are Nazi, you are fascist, and I'm the right one, I'm a good person. That's the way it was, that's the way this stuff is. What I'm gonna do is, in Slovenian language, I'm just gonna let the tape roll one more time for you to hear with your own ears exactly about everything she had to say about the car, about the condition of the car, so that it's not going to be some sort of misunderstanding about who said what. Of course I'm gonna take this to the court. What else? This was recorded, and I'm gonna do it like this. This was recorded on December the 16th of 2021. And I do it like this. This was recorded on December the 16th of 2021. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is, to make things easy for investigators, I'm just going to go quickly about this stuff here. And we have this exported as fast as possibly I can, and now I'll let you have it. I want you to hear this with your own ears right here, right there, if you're Slovenian, or you get yourself another translator if you don't trust, and you're gonna have an audio recording separately available to you right below this video. Thanks for watching this video today. Again, today is July 12th of 2022. It took me some time to get here, but trust me, eventually I did, and you can bet eventually I will come to the bottom. I will now go after other police setups that were done against me to demonstrate you how far the Slovenian police have gone to satisfy Mr. Milan Kučan, Bord Pahor, Tanja Fajon, Danilo Turk, basically members of ex-Yugoslav, that's a greater Serbian Chetnik state known as Yugoslavia, ex-communist members, in crime against me. This was recorded on December the 16th of 2021.
Ja, dober dan želim, dobro jutro, dober dan.
Dober dan.
Dober dan, gospa Jožica, ker sem vas malo zgodaj poklical.
Ne.
Se lahko pokličem nazaj, če hočete, ampak...
Ne.
Ne? Boštjan sicer tukaj iz Novega mesta kličem.
Ja?
Ja, dober dan. Veste kaj, mene zanima pa ta vaš lep avto tlele, ki ga imate na avtonetu.
Ja.
Ja, in sicer vse lepo piše, tam vidim, da ste malo na desni strani, da je malo poškodbe na robniku, ampak...
To je bil, ja, dotik robnika, ja.
Dotik robnika je bil. Drugač pa ni z avtom nič narobe, ne, da je...
Ne, vozenje, avto je registriran do 2. aprila drugo leto. Vse ima, no, vse kaj normalno se vozim.
Pa tam v Divači, tam je pa vaš dedek, ne?
Ne, veste kaj, sin je v Divači, pa je on dal, ker jaz se na ponas poznam, mi je dal na avtonet, drugače pa v Kisovcu, tu Zagorje občina, tukaj živi, tukaj.
Aha, ja, aha, okej, vidim. Pa tam je z Divači, tam je pa vaš dedek, ne, ali nekaj tazga, ne?
Ne, sin.
Vaš sin je tam?
Moj sin, ja.
Pa ka ni bil on, ka ni tam bil vaš dedek nekaj tazga?
Ne.
Ni on en sorodnik vaš iz Divača ali oče ali kaj?
Ne.
Ne, ni bilo, vaš sin je samo tam, aha.
Moj sin je živi tam in jaz se na to ne spoznam na te oglase, tako da je on to naredil na...
Aha.
Tako da avto je čisto okej, avto je čisto v redu, vse je okej, tak kak je na sliki. Edino nisem vedela, pa sem premalo slik naredila, še notranjosti, vse sedeži so ohranjeni, tako da to lahko tudi naknadno pošljem, če to želi.
Aha, pa je, kaj sem hotel reči, kakšna je pa zadnja cena tega avtomobila?
Ja, pa bomo se zmenila, ja. Bomo znižali tudi, če ste zainteresirani, če ste resen kupec.
Ja, jaz sem resen kupec, jaz če pridem, jaz ga odpeljem, ne? Čistko povedano, samo kaj ćemo narediti tukaj. Vi ste prva lasnica, ne?
Prvi lasnik sem, ja.
Zakaj pa ima tablico iz Maribora pol? Zakaj pa ima tablico iz Maribora?
Veste kaj, jaz sem v Mariboru živela, zdaj sem se pa poročila tu v Kisoveci.
A ste se poročila pol? Aha.
Ja, tako da
to je pa lepo.
tega nisem predstavljala teh.
To je pa lepo. Ja, kaj pa vem.
Kaj boste prišli pogledat?
Ja, jaz če pridem pogledat, ga pridem kupiti. Jaz sem iz Novega mesta, jaz bom...
Pravilno.
Ne bo, drugače to ne bo šlo, samo...
Ja, pomoč.
Se je res, to je dobro.
Vse dokumente tudi od nakupa vam lahko pokažem, pa ne račune, da...
Aha, pa servisno knjigico imate pa vse to, ne?
Imam noter, ja.
Pa je, kdaj je bil pa ta veliki servis narejen?
Veliki servis je bil nared 2017.
2017.
2017 je imel 160.000, ne vem, da točno se ima tam nekaj napisano.
Aha.
Ja, ko je bilo to zdaj nazadnje delano.
Ja.
Pa tako treba narediti, ne, pa vsako leto olje, pa filtri, pa te zadeve, to sem vsako leto menjala. Če sem naredila toliko kilometrov ali pa ne, sem to naredila.
Ja.
Tako, če ženska upravlja avto in na takrat se ti bolj gleda, da nekaj narobe.
Kaj pa če vam jaz dam ponudbo 450 €?
Veste kaj, to mi je pa skoraj malo, zato ker so čisto nove gume gor.
Čisto?
Zimske gume imam čisto nove.
Aha, okej.
In mi je to že bil strošek, ko sem vzela čez 200 €.
Ja.
Nisem pa računala, mislim, zdaj sem pa nekaj zbolela in se zdaj bolj z možem avto vozim in enostavno mi je škoda, da mi stoji, ne.
Ja, kaj pa recimo 500 €?
Pa to bi šlo.
500 €, okej. Pa imamo zrihtano 500 € in jaz ga potem pridem ta vaš avto iskat. Tako. Zmenjeni pol. A ka mi lahko vi prosim naslov date pol?
Ja, kdaj bi pa vi to prišli?
Zdaj se pa spomnim to, zdaj se vas pa spomnimo bolj. Joj, vi ste se pa v blok preselila. Ampak to je bilo pa že enega leta, te pa premejduše, poznate se vsaj od 2010.
Kaj se bo to?
Z vašim možem. Že kar nekaj časa se poznate.
Ne razumem, o čem govorite.
Ojoj, zdaj se spomnim. Mislim, da se poznamo, no. Tako, vidva, z vašim možem sta se pa srečala enkrat, mislim, da je bilo tam 2000, sta se spoznala tam enega leta 2008, kaj tazga, 2006 celo. Ja. Vaš sin je pa moje starosti, v bistvu. Vaš sin je pa tam tam je enih 45 je, jaz sem 50. Mlajši mora biti od mene, mislim, da je.
No, ne vem, zakaj je to pomembno.
Ja, no, sem tako vprašam.
Ne, pa mislim, da se nismo se nikoli srečali.
Da se nismo srečali, aha.
Ne.
Pa se pa motim, ampak občutek sem pa imel, da je bil vaš oče ali vaš star oče od tam idevače, pa sem se pa zmotil, sem vas pa zamenjal za kaj.
Ne, moj oče je zahvalo.
Ja, pa sem se pa zmotil, se oproščam.
Ne, to so nas sigurno.
Dobro, tu sem se zmotil pa.
Ja, vse to možno.
Ja, no, prosim naslov pa, da pridem iskat vaš ta stroj.
Ja, se pravi, mi reče mi samo kdaj bi vi to prišli?
Jutr.
Jutr, sem doma.
Prosim?
Pravi tako, da sem doma, ne?
Ja, kdaj pa boste vi doma, saj to je pomenilo?
Ja, jaz bom pa doma cel dan, če pridete, ne?
Ja, ne, zaradi mene ni treba biti doma, tu bomo že tako koordinirali nekako, da bomo...
Ja, mi kar se menjava za jutr, je to pol jutr, ne?
Da bi, ampak, lejte, gospa, jaz vas ne bom, da boste vi name čakala doma, Madonca.
Ne, to še sem večina.
To pa ne bi rad naredil, vam res, ne bi rad, da take stvari ne rad počnem. Vi meni povejte, kaj bi bilo za vas, recimo, kako
lahko prijete danes, lahko prijete jutri, samo se pravim, da pa okvirno uro se zmeniva, kdaj pridete in je to, ne?
Ja, ker ob 10 imam jaz en opravek, veste danes.
Ja.
Tu je ena stvar, sicer pa, da pogledam tole. Tale, da vidim eno stvar. Ok. Ja, je kar tako pot bo, kar 70 km vidim.
Ja, so vidite tukaj čez...
Ja. Jaz bom moral priti z avtobusom, veste, nekako sem moral tako prebiti čez.
Ali pa z vlakom.
Ali pa z vlakom, to je tisto, veste. Ampak ne vem, če gre kakšen vlak iz Novega mesta v Kisovec, to je tisto.
Zagorje, železniška postaja.
Pa še tole videl, kje pa tole. Ja, to moram pa jaz tam preko Krškega je ta, ne. Ja, ne, tu je pa 4 ure in tako naprej. Deva se midva lepo prosim to za jutri zmeniti, no, pa bom jaz jutri prišel, pravite, da lahko pridem kadarkoli, pa naredimo to stvar, pravite.
Ja, toliko je, da lahko kot prepis narediva, ne, ker tu imaš do Zagorja, gremo do pisarne, kar prepis narediva, ne.
Tako.
Tako da nimam nobenih potem več...
Opravkov. Tako,
ja.
Dobro. Potem pa jutri se jaz ostavim tam pri vas in tu je tu pol. Ok. Najlepša hvala vam. Lep dan želim. Ja, kakšen je pa naslov vaš?
Ja, Trg Pohorskega bataljona.
Tu je pravite Trg Pohorskega?
Ja.
Aha, Trg Pohorskega.
Bataljona. Ja.
Aha.
Kisovec.
Ok, imam.
Kisovec, kraj Kisovec.
Tako. Najlepša hvala vam.
Ja.
Hvala lepa, nasvidenje.
Ja, prav nasvidenje.
Gospa, boste vzela dol pol ta oglas?
Gledajte, jaz pa ne znam se kaj, če se res bo avto vas čakal za jutri, ni problema.
Aha, ok, ampak za to ceno, tako kot so se domenila, ne?
Ja.
Ok, hvala lepa, nasvidenje.
Srečno.
Živjo.